Hello again. I'm Lenny Pinna, and this is the final installment of Ted's life story in the book A Face from Uranus, Correspondence between Ted Burr and Henry Bellamy, 1943 to 1945. We are back in Bellevue, Ohio. At home, I could but tell my mother the true reasons. She wept, and I hated inflicting another pain upon her. The excuse to inquire was my health. Again, death seemed the only alternative, but it would not come. In this time, I began to type my book, planning to submit it to a publisher. If I could publish it, I could hold up my head again. My old friend Jean asked me to accompany her to Detroit on a lake excursion. I finally consented. My fears were borne out. I had dressed as mannishly as I could, had not put a bit of face makeup on, just tried to be a person. Hardly had the boat left the dock when it began again. I was asked if I intended to stay in Detroit. You could have fun in Detroit. I hated Jean to see me trapped so, and for her to suffer the embarrassment she did. She has said she will never be able to forget how terrible it was. I hardly leave the house now. I read and work on my book, study of myself. Lately, I was 1A again this last Saturday and was called to Army examinations. I thought several other men watched me curiously, but I no longer had strength to fight their observations. This time when questioned, I was not reluctant to telling them the truthful answers to their questions. I knew the problem had to be faced squarely and honestly. However, they were in a hurry and asked little. I was rejected for what they termed immaturity, just as I had been 6 months before. In another 6 months, this is to be repeated. Perhaps I would not have minded the Army too much. My future as a civilian is just as uncertain. I've lost all confidence in seeing a prospective employer, or even entering life. But I cannot stay here at home. So, Mr. Bellamy, this is my story. Forgive my writing to such length, but I knew not what to leave out. Perhaps I have overlooked a few facts, but going over my life as I so often do, this is about what it adds up to. Since reading King's Row, I have lost confidence in my own book. I know so little about writing. Your book is so eloquent and great that I feel I have fallen far short of being an author. I had dreams of playing women's parts on the stage, but how to get started? Would people want that? To me, it would mean that at 8:30, I become a woman, and for a couple of hours, I would be in another world. Knowing that Sarah Bernhardt played Le Lion in Hamlet has kept this alive in my mind. Perhaps you can now understand the gratitude filling me when you are kind enough to answer. I wanted to tell you these things. It is good to tell someone. I hope you shall reply in some way, for it is as if I have known you for a very long time. If there is anything else you wish to know, do not hesitate to ask. I shall be honest with you, for I like honesty. And you can be sure that here in Bellevue, you have lighted a flame. For the first time in ever so long, I do not want to die. Respectfully, Ted Burr. End of story.